Hey, what is up, guys? This is your boy Andy Matrix, and today we are gonna talk about why is it that so many anime take place in high school. Let's go. Hello guys, don't forget to like this video, don't forget to subscribe, and hit that little bell right there so that you can get notifications every time I upload a video, okay? Enjoy. Okay, so one of the reasons why I started wondering this is because it's just mainly all the high school titles. Like if you see, like ever since I was in high school myself, and even after high school, I noticed that so many anime, especially the romance and comedy, they take place in high school, especially the shonen. Either it takes place in high school or it starts off in high school. It's always in a school environment. And you've noticed that this is always they always put the characters in a school environment, like Yu-Gi-Oh! GX. As a matter of fact, even back then, when Final Fantasy VIII came out, there was a trend of like a lot of shonen anime that took place in academia, in some kind of school, and that's one of the reasons why Final Fantasy VIII, why Square Enix decided to have Final Fantasy VIII take place in academy, in like some type of school. That's why Squall and the guys, the story takes place in Balin Garden, which is an academy for like mercenaries, something like that, right? I haven't played the game in a long time, but you get the point. And also another question is, what is Tai from the God of High School doing? No, what is Tai from Digimon doing in the God of High School? If you look at this picture here, I know, but getting to the point. But yeah, it was kind of like it really took off in the 1990s, and again, why Final Fantasy VIII, Square Enix decided to make the setting, the start of the story in Balin Garden, in academia. So one of the reasons why so many anime take place in high school is because for the Japanese, so they say that their best time in their life was when they were in high school, right? And I found this funny because here in the West, in America, in the West, like a lot of people, they cannot wait to get out of high school so they can live their lives and do whatever they want. But in Japan, for some reason, and I'll tell you why in a moment, they say, according to just an overall kind of like this survey, I guess like the population, especially those living in the Tokyo area, they say that during high school it was basically the best times in their life. And it has to do with the culture, because see, here in America, in the West, most people, they go to high school. Yeah, you have friends in high school, but like you cannot always do what you want to do, right? You have more freedom after high school. Once you start making money and you're able to do this and that, right? And so I guess here in the West, people find a lot of liberty. After high school, you get to buy your own car. You can buy your own car and so and so. But in Japan, it's a little different, because in Japan, especially if you live in Tokyo, and I know this because I went to Japan in May 2019, you don't really need a car. And the problem is that in Japan, after high school, people become so busy that they don't really make a lot of friends. And it's a sad thing to say, like after high school, because in Japan, I'm sure you heard, like the work hours are crazy. I'm sure you heard of the salarymen in Japan. They work 60 to 80 hours a week, and some of those hours are unpaid, which is kind of sad, because here in America we don't believe in unpaid overtime. But in Japan they do. It's a cultural thing. So once they become an adult, is work, 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 work. And I mean, unless you make friends at work, I don't really know. But in Japan, being in high school is the best because you have friends. You can, you have so many after school activities. And school is basically, it's kind of your life when you're in Japan. Sure, I mean, you go back home, but your friends are at school, all your school activities, your hobbies. And you kind of have, Japanese kids kind of have, yeah, they study hard. School is kind of hard over there, but they do have a lot of freedom as kids. As to in the West, you don't really have a lot of freedom until you're an adult. And the school systems are different in the West and in Japan. So that is why they kind of, once they get out of high school, they kind of romanticize high school, because it's like, man, I used to have a lot of friends. Now that I'm working, I barely have time to hang out with anybody. And that's basically how it is. No joke. Okay? No joke. That's basically how it is. And it's a really sad thing to say. But and that's why there's so many high school anime. And realize that the boom kind of started in the 90s with all these, like, high school stories. And it was because of this purpose, because they knew that there was a market for this. There was a lot of people who really missed that life, right? And yeah, there was a lot of people that really missed that life, because once you become an adult, your job is your life. So people kind of fantasize about kind of like going back to high school and having all those friends again, those hangout times, and and that is pretty much it. So I don't want to say that anime is kind of like a reflection of Japanese culture. Yes, it's an extension of it. And some of the things that you see in anime, like this romance anime, like in Love Hina, yeah, sure, they do happen in real life. One thing that does not happen in real life, like you see a lot of anime where you have like this loner, this guy that lives alone in Tokyo and has all these things happen to him, right? Well, or like this teenager that lives by himself. Like if you watch the anime Deers, the main character lives by himself, like in his teenage years. And in Japan, that rarely happens. Okay, it's kind of like in anime thing where like the main character is all alone by himself. In the real world, in Japan, that's very rare, and you're not gonna see that a lot. You're not really gonna see that much. It's just rare for that to happen in Japan. And again, so look, I've been studying Japanese culture since I was in high school. I went to Japan last year, May 2019, and I mean, I say, take it from me, guys. No, I'm not Japanese, but I mean, I have Japanese friends, and I know this, so I know what I'm talking about here. So that is pretty much it for this video as to why there's so many high school anime. Once you leave high school, you go to the real world, and there's not a lot of freedom. There's a lot of obligations. As to in America, sure, you have a lot of obligations after high school, but you have a lot of freedom because you can do. You don't, in America, we don't work as hard as the Japanese, I guess. We work less hours, and usually that's enough to like pay the rent. So that is it for this video. This is Andy Matrix. Thank you for watching, guys. Don't forget to follow me on Facebook, Twitter. Check out my blog, andyartstv, and like and comment below. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel for more awesome content. Peace out, dudes.